Continuing controversy over the future of some public statues and protests by the Black Lives Matter movement have shone a light on aspects of Britain's imperial past. For the second in our series of reports considering the legacies of imperialism, Fergal Keane has been to the province of Munster in the Republic of Ireland, one of the early testing grounds of British colonialism.
These days, history is a beautiful tourist trail. Here, where empire took root in the fields of Munster. There are traces everywhere of that long-ago conquest, when the energy of Elizabethan England overpowered its enemies. The Irish were not made slaves, but there was massacre, dispossession and assault on Gaelic culture. Catholic Ireland, with her continental allies, was a threat to Protestant Elizabeth, but also an opportunity for English adventurers. This part of Ireland saw some of the worst atrocities carried out by men regarded as heroes in Britain, and they would take the tactics and methods of colonial conquest and export them from here across the world. Men like Sir Walter Raleigh, who took vast landholdings after the destruction of the native lords. The great poet Edmund Spenser was among those who defended starving civilians to deny food to rebels. Thousands died in the famine which swept Munster in the 1580s. I'm going back into the landscape of the Munster conquest, along the River Blackwater, to meet a leading expert on the Elizabethan era here.
Good to see you, man, if we could.
How ruthless was the imposition of colonial rule by these men?
Whatever it took. They didn't, they killed men, women and children. That's very much part of how the British Empire emerges. It's forceful seizure and occupation.
But go to the town of Youghal at the river mouth and Walter Raleigh is a tourist attraction. Raleigh left Ireland for other colonial adventures, but others prospered, settled, and rest in ornate tombs. In a stable modern republic, their legacy can be studied, not fought over.
It is much better for us to try to understand what happened, why it happened, how perhaps Raleigh or these other individuals could treat Irish people particularly badly. Often they do so because they other them. They considered them to be almost a different species of humanity.
Grim houses beckoned in the swelling gloom of Munster fields, where the Atlantic night fettered the child within the pit of doom.
And everywhere the going down of light.
Memories of oppression became embedded in our culture. But historic acts of reconciliation are helping to heal old wounds.
I feel the hand of history upon our shoulder in respect of this. I really do. And I just think we need to acknowledge that and respond to it.
With the benefit of historical hindsight, we can all see things which we would wish had been done differently, or not at all.
History throws up complexities. Thousands of Irish served as imperial soldiers and civil servants. I had relatives who fought the British and others who benefited from and served empire. But I wanted to hear what some younger people in Munster felt about the colonial past.
We want to show both sides of the coin, put people in the shoes of the participants of these events in the past. History is very complicated, there's a lot of greyness, but we try to give them the facts and let them decide their own opinion after that.
I know some people would really love an apology, but for the likes of us, we just want to learn about it and not to make those mistakes again, I think is better than getting an apology.
You look at people of your generation who are black British, black American, they're looking back at the history of the empire and they feel real rage and anger over what happened to their ancestors. You don't feel that.
We don't suffer injustice as much as they do. We live privileged lives, like we're not being injusticed every day as much as they are.
their roots were taken from them, so I can understand why you'd be so angry. I'm very proud to be Irish, and I love my heritage and I love my roots, so I can't imagine having that taken away from me.
History is no longer a gaping wound in Munster. The colonial past is distant. It really is the past. Fergal Keane, BBC News, Munster.